Hey there everyone, this is Life. Welcome back to my playthrough of Frogger. He's back. Today we're going to do the Tropical Trouble level, of the final level of the game, and complete the series in general, as well as give my final thoughts, etc., as we continue throughout. This last level is rather easy. You just get to certain frogs at certain points of the level, just like all the other levels. Also, you can fail miserably at the very beginning and not worry about it really, because the level's easy enough to recover from. And it's just overall an easy level. This level is especially well decorated and very nice looking for a last level. So it really does qualify as a good last level. I really like it. There's the red frog. The frogs get further and further away from you as you get through, except with the purple and the green kind of being equal distance from the start, but anyways. Blue is easy enough, crossing the bridge just after you see piranhas jump over. It's super easy. The level is kind of relaxing in nature, and this is kind of the difficulty I kind of expected from the rest of the game, as this is kind of challenging your first time through, but it's kind of easy once you kind of get it down, you know. It's kind of that a good chunk of the game, but there's some levels that kind of take difficulty overboard, and that's one of the weaknesses of this game, before I even get into the credits. It's just, this game has so many weaknesses and so many strengths, it's a little mind-boggling to think about how they could have made this game better, but games made in the 90s, and for 90s standards, I think this game was pretty good. Of course, that's back in the day when a lot of things, you could not, do anything except go to, some old cheat code website to figure out the cheats of the game so you knew how to have infinite lives so you wouldn't fail at the game as much, you know, the classic things as a kid. I think it's another one of the cons, that you kind of have to cheat at the game in order to get really good at it. And only then after you get good at everything can you really turn the lives off and all of that, so it's kind of not good for beginners, and that you kind of have to cheat to make your way through the game, and it's not a good thing. You could get better at the game otherwise, but it's really hard to get good at this game. There is some people, I think there's a guy on YouTube by the name of Atrocity Some Numbers, some string of numbers, Atrocity Some String of Numbers, and he did this game rather well, with lives on, without lives, so, without the lives cheat. So, that's one guy I could easily recommend you watch to see how a skilled playthrough of the game would go. But, besides exceptions like him, there's really not that many examples of people doing well at this game, and that's a little bit, not depressing, but it's just kind of shows how difficult the game is and why it probably got the low score that it did. It's unnecessarily difficultness is kind of its big weakness. This is a perfect final level, but I'm going to say that the sewage levels and some cop-out levels in general are kind of too hard for their own good, and especially if you design a game kind of for a more of a younger audience, you have to design the game to be a little easier. And this is a game you would expect kids to play, and it's kind of what I played when I was little. And I really didn't understand it. You kind of have to cheat through, and even though there's patterns to almost everything, it's kind of overwhelming how even though you know what to do, you can't exactly execute it very well. And I guess it's an issue with the controls, is that sometimes you can't execute things very well. However, the game's quite good soundtrack, which is subjective in itself, is kind of what keeps me playing it. It's that I really like the music that the game has to offer. Also, we completed the level, and I really do like the soundtrack that this game has to offer. I play it frequently. It's something I really like of this game. If you have the PC version of the game, you can easily get the soundtrack for yourself by simply pulling up iTunes, putting in the Frogger CD, and then watching iTunes get confused and recognize all the music files. You know, so that's how you can get the soundtrack to this game if you're interested in how to get that. But that's only if you have the PC version of the game, I think. Otherwise, if you have the PlayStation version of the game, you can just open that up and listen to the game by playing the levels, or just listening to it on YouTube. I'm sure some guy on YouTube has the soundtrack up somewhere. And most of the songs have actual unique names probably, but I just have them as F number, so I had to memorize them by F numbers. That's fine. That's fine though. Let's get into the final cutscene. Alright, now for the credits with alpha footage. I think this is what this is. It looks like alpha footage. Anyways. What to say? What else to say? It's just... I don't know, man. This game is really close to my heart, and I really like it. It's a very good game, in my opinion. I wouldn't exactly recommend you go out of your way to get it, unless you want to try to play it for yourself. Just kind of handle it yourself. But the game is kind of unforgiving, and you might find yourself instantly turning on the infinite lives cheat. It would not surprise anyone. To play this game with the lives cheat is usually not frowned upon because of how hard this game is in general. For kids, this was especially hard. I'm waiting for the music people to show up. It might have already passed. I might have completely zoned out when they passed by the music people. In which case, the only one I remember is Pete Murphy. IT department. Yeah, I've probably missed the music people. But anyways, I'd really like to... one of the game's main strengths in the music, I really liked the people who made the soundtrack. They did good things. I believe they went on to do future things that I can't quite delve into details to, but of course I will do research on that and maybe put it in the description. Let's see, creative directors. You might be into the music section in just a bit, actually. Worldwide marketing... Yeah, this game got marketed worldwide. Okay, that's confusing. This game's overwhelming difficulty at times kind of makes it hard to get into, but after you kind of get used to maybe the difficulty in having lives on all the time, you get better at the game. It's very easy to track your progress on how good you are at the game. Another good thing about the game is to get the good ending, you don't have to go into all of the hard levels, which is good. The only hard levels I can think of that you actually really have to do is Frogger Go Skiing, and a few cactus levels, and really that's the extent of Uncanny Crusher. But other than that, you don't have to go through that many hoops to get to the good ending of the game. And that's kind of it in the nutshell. I might have said a few things twice and such, but during the course of the level and the credits, I think I got most of what I wanted to say out there. Pros, good music, solid, easy to learn game. Easy to learn, hard to master type gameplay. Very aesthetically pleasing zones, very good looking arcadey type feel. Overwhelming difficulty at times, has issues. Hey there everyone, this has been Life. As always, I thank you for watching. Next, I'll see you guys next project.